Hello, David Paul here. I thought I'd make a video on this place because this is Isla Rita Resort. The big deal on Tallycud is Isla Rita Resort, and it's very nice and it's very basic and it's good for what you want. If you're a Filipino and you want to get away for the weekend, it's a good deal because you don't have a lot of money. Folks here do everything on the cheap. You'd be surprised if you wanted to live in at those kind of prices, how things work, you know. So you can't live very cheaply here. So I was told that it's 400 pesos a night, which I don't know what that is, about $6 or something in US and maybe $5 in the UK money. So beautiful place overlooking Samal Island, and sunny and shade places where you can sit so you don't have to be fried, and everything's fine, but it's limited. It's a family kind of place, and it's not like you're not going to have like great discos here or anything like that. It's just going to be a simple visit. So anyway, looking at this, Dalagang Filipina passing. Definitely Dalagang Filipina. So anyway, looking at this, that was very distracting. Here's the deal, right? So you're paying 400 pesos a night to be in a camp site. So you're camping in these tents, and you could go on like that forever. You could stay here. You could possibly even live here if you want to go that mad. And you got the beach there, and everything's great. But the interesting thing is, to me, is these what is generally referred to as a bahay kubo, which is a wooden house. So you have these wooden houses up here. Now, analysing this, I don't know what the price is to stay here per night, but I take a look, and I'm going to do a sneaky look at the place, because this is the kind of thing I'm looking for. I want to build a bahay kubo and rent it out on Airbnb, but not primarily, that's not my primary intention. The idea is to generate a small amount of income which supports the caretaker, my sister-in-law, of the Rojas house, because you need somebody to live there, so you need her to have an income. So what you do is you get her to clean the house when you've got an Airbnb. She gets something out of it, and everything sort of works. Because if you don't motivate somebody to look after that Rojas house, then it's all going to fall into disrepair, and there's also not going to be a caretaker looking after my house, and you're not going to have somebody who's motivated to do it, because they're just going to be a general worker rather than family. Use your family, eat them up, you know. Get one family member, get them to do something. They have a vested interest in seeing to it that your enterprise continues. It supports the whole family. So what we're looking at here is bahay kubos. Now, this is not how I would do it. Really, this is not how I would do it. But if you look at it from the Filipino point of view, you might pay a couple hundred more pesos, and you're going to end up in a place which is quite cool at night. So I don't know. They seem happy in their tents, because none of these places are lit. They're all just standing empty, airing out. The outside is taking the usual hammering from the environment that natural materials get. The woodwork is all painted brown, so you're not seeing it as a natural product. It may as well just be plastic. The stairs made out of bamboo. I'm not being critical, I'm just stating the problems of being the problems that the Philippines generates for people. For example, those concrete beams which are supporting it, they've got what you call concrete sickness, concrete cancer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, loads of them have got concrete cancer. What is that? It's the salty environment here is getting into the reinforcing bars, causing it to rust, expand and crack open the concrete. It will be okay. The concrete will last a long time before it needs to be replaced, and you'll get away with it. I mean, there is an alternative, which is to use fiberglass reinforcement bars which don't rust, and that would be ideal. I don't know what the cost ratio is for using them. Personally, I have my other method which I'm going to implement on my land, the using the trees, which I will implement there on the land. So I'm getting a natural system to repair itself. I kind of got the idea from a TV program called Farscape, where the spaceship was actually a living organism, and I thought, man, that's cool. Stupid idea, but like cool, you know. So anyway, din lang ako sa bahay. Magkano ito para sa isang gabi?
800 po, sir.
600? 800. Okay lang, salamat. Oh, that's interesting. 800. So there you go. That's about twice what I said, which is about $12 at $12 and the hell, I don't know, 10 UK pounds. I'm having to calculate fast in my head. So anyway, yes, it is just slightly over 10 UK pounds. Let's have a look at this. We got a bamboo floor here, perfectly strong enough, and it lets the air flow through, and it's cool at night. It's cool. But thinking about it, would the tent not possibly be cool? I think maybe not. I'm not sure, because the tents are near the ground, near the humidity of the sea, and they're also enclosed. If you dare to zip them up, you're going to be suffocating in there. You're going to get a lot more air circulation. What we do in the Philippines here is we have these open tops to houses in a bahay kubo. And that lets the air flow through the house. You got a high ceiling which acts as a sort of insulator. I noticed they're putting insulation in there, reflective insulation. You got to make sure that you got some silver going upwards. I don't know if this has. It looks like it's been double insulated, so you've got to make sure that you're trying to reflect radiation upwards. So you got to make sure that the silver is on the upside. So if this is double silvered, then that's fine. Okay, so it's made out of woven mats of bamboo, and that's okay as a construction material. But if you think about it, those mats they cost about 200 pesos each, and the marine ply is only 900 pesos. So for 4 times the cost, you can actually get marine ply, which will pretty much last forever. And this stuff needs to be replaced frequently because the environment chews it a bit. Bamboo is not a durable material. It can be made durable if you care to, say, smoke it. It'll last 300 years if you smoke it. God knows what it'll look like in 300 years. And also smoking it's going to make it pretty dark. So this is Bahay Kubo construction, and the floors they're wooden floors. They're only 1.5 by 3 beams. I'm quite surprised at that, but they've got a very frequent concrete support system underneath, so that's how they've managed to get by on smaller beams. Mine, I'm just going completely over the top with my 3x6 hardwood beams, very, very strong. So why am I looking at this? Because for a long time I've had a plan. Well, I've arrived at this place, so I may as well have a sniff around. And I have for a long time had this plan about having a place on my piece of land and then doing a deal with Isla Rita so that people could, it would sort of, I don't know, like Scotland and England, you'd be able to go between the two and you would like get a free pass for the day. So, for example, people staying at my place would get a ticket to enter Isla Rita and use their facilities, and or maybe at a reduced cost or whatever. And why would Isla Rita want to do that? Because it'll get more people in, they'll make more money, they don't have to provide the accommodation for them. And why would my people want to come down here? Well, I don't have a beach, so they could come down and visit the beach and go and swim. Or alternatively, they can just come down and pay the entrance fee. So I have to think about that, because these things generate activity, they generate possible opportunities for little restaurants, and you don't have to run everything. You just tell people you're gonna need more provision for people. Would you put on this, that and the other? These people like to eat beef or these or this or that either. I'm sure they will quickly adapt to it themselves, you know. But that's what's needed, you know. I need to get my hat on, because if I don't put it on, mainit. Angaraw. Sa ulo ko. It's hot on my head, the sun. I'm going to have no skull left if I don't put this hat on. It's working very, very well. I'm also taking astaxanthin tablets, which I'm also taking astaxanthin tablets which are preventing me from getting sunburn, which is quite remarkable, really. I didn't expect that. I mean, I knew it was quoted that it does, but it actually does. It really does. Really is protecting me. So, what next? Looking over, I was due to build a house over on Samal. That was one of the alternative land offers, and my ex-wife has said, oh well, you got to do this or you got to do that. Everybody in my family keeps telling me I have to do one thing or the other, rather than why can't you do what you want at any one particular time or any one day? If there's no necessity to go to work, I don't need to go to work. I'm actually living here cheaper, a normal life here cheaper than when I was living in the forest in the UK. That's how much cheaper it is. So it's just such an amazing deal now. Get down to Portugal, same thing. If you have a home in Portugal, you're just not forking out for all the accommodation, and suddenly it gets cheaper. And the coffers are starting to overflow. Now, I'm financing this entire project of building. I'm going to start buying some marine ply, which I don't know if I mentioned that, but I discovered it was 900 pesos, an 8x4 sheet, and the marine ply is fabulous stuff. So why not just use that for the floor? I'll put that on the floor. I'll still be using wood in the construction, but just basically the floor, I guess, you know. And it's dimensionally incredibly stable. Difficult things to do in the Philippines. Dimensional stability, we don't do that over here. Everything warps, twists, cracks, splits, degrades, whatever, in the sun. The only things that work are trees, because they're self-repairing systems. You see these trees here, what they've done with them, they've been trained horizontally, like sort of tables, and you can do this. You don't have to put up with the battering from the sun, and it shades the floor. Where's all that energy going? Well, half the energy is going in reflected light back to space, and the other portion that's keeping the leaf cool, well, air is keeping the leaf cool, but it's also evaporating water, which is helping to keep the leaves cool. I don't know what these trees are, but they're obviously quite salt tolerant. So I'm away from the Bahai Kubos over there, and yet these trees are growing on the beach here. Oh, I tell you what, they're probably possibly mangoes trained up as normal trees. Mangrove. I'm not sure, I'll have to check. I'll put it in the comments, in the description if I find out. So if they grow that far out, then they'll certainly grow that far in, and there's an example of a tree growing there. So you could have, on those Bahai Kubos, you could have elevated them and used the trees as support with this methodology of like chopping them down alternately so that they don't get too big, but without sacrificing the support of the trees. So you go 3 trees, 3 trees, 3 trees, 3 trees, alternating between them. And you know, as crazy as it may seem making a hexagonal house, honestly, I really do think it just beats everything hands down. So I've said all I can about Isla Rita, and this is not a place, the Philippines, where you're going to make your fortune. I personally think Portugal is the place, but other than that, it's great, you know, it's just great. So Jesus be with you.